Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited to share with you tips and tricks on how to regulate your period. If you're experiencing a lot of PMS symptoms or cramping and bloating and you're just trying to get out of it and every single month you find yourself dreading your period, then hopefully these things that I'm suggesting, you can start incorporating them into your lifestyle and your period cannot be something that you dread to something where it's like, oh, okay, I'm on my period and it's no big deal, right? So I've definitely been there and now I am kind of on the opposite side of the fence where my period doesn't really affect my life. It doesn't really intrude on my day-to-day. I can confidently say that these things that I'm about to share with you are probably the main reasons. So if this is the type of content that you like, holistic living, tips and tricks, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, first off, I apologize for this not so exciting background. I am working on figuring out where to film in my house because my family members are also working from home and it's been rough, but it's okay. Moving on. So the first thing that I want to share with you when it comes to regulating your period is something you probably don't want to hear, but it's backed up by science and it works, and that is to exercise. Move your body at least 30 minutes a day. You've heard it before, you're gonna hear it again. I'm not gonna share with you information that is a quick fix. This is long-term results for your period. Remember, you get your period once a month, right? Or like around then. So you need to do things consistently so that every single month your period gets a chance to adapt to what your body's doing. Now, if you were to get your period, let's say every 4 days, then quick fixes might help. But again, this is long term. You're only getting your period about 12 times a year. So if you really want those 12 times to be good, then you need to exercise. So according to a 2017 study regarding endocrinology and metabolism, they found that folks who were overweight were more likely to not only have irregular periods, but also suffer from infertility. So we want to make sure that we're maintaining a healthy weight, and your scale, I've said this before, it does not reflect everything, right? If anything, it doesn't even reflect a lot of it. But this is specifically for those of us, we know we're overweight and we're carrying a lot of fat on our body, and that has a direct impact on our period. So again, going back to what I said, moving your body 30 minutes a day and really just finding ways to physically move, right? We live in a very sedentary lifestyle society where it's so normal to sit for 8 to 12 hours a day on end. And as humans, we weren't meant to do that. So that definitely affects our overall health and then things like our period. Some scientists believe that being overweight can affect your HPA axis, which is how your hormones are regulated within your body. Okay, so the next one is to really examine your diet. So I would definitely recommend that if you are having maybe a predominantly American diet, you might be missing out on a lot of supplements and vitamins and spices that have anti-inflammatory benefits, things like that, right? So what I would recommend is taking supplements like maybe healthy supplements, aka turmeric. It's really high in curcumin. Maybe taking supplements that are suggested to you by your nutritionist, because they'll know what your diet is and they'll be able to help scale that. Now, outside of supplements and things like that, definitely cut out the processed foods. All those chemicals that are flooding your body is basically not only just irregulating your period, but it's making everything messed up in our body. If you're eating snacks, salsas and chips and salsa, like things like that, those are one of my favorite snacks. Look at the ingredients, make sure there's no xanthan gums, emulsifiers, added sugar, food coloring and things like that, and make sure you're getting very clean ingredients that are found in your food. So processed foods is definitely something that I cut out, I would say going on 2 years now, and I would say every day, every month, I'm getting even cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, and I'm finding brands that I love. When it comes to like nut milks, I'm finding just really amazing brands, because again, it's a journey. You're learning as you go, and I have noticed specifically when it comes to my nutrition and my diet, that has had a direct impact on my period. I feel like my body just is functioning the way it's supposed to function, and that never really happened before. Okay, this might be an Indian thing, an Ayurvedic thing, but drinking warm liquids when you're on your period. So lots of tea, lots and lots of tea. If you're not into tea, that's totally fine. Just try not to have ice water. Try not to have refrigerated water. Have room temperature water. If you want, you can even warm it up a little, put it on the warm side. You can always add ginger to it. You can always add lemon to it. All of these things are obviously so good for you. Ginger definitely helps settle your stomach if you suffer with bloating. It's so good for your digestive system. Lemon is so good with balancing the alkaline levels and pH levels in your body. So definitely try having warm liquids. And obviously ditch the Coke, ditch the pop, ditch the orange and apple juice that you get at your local grocery store with all that added. Oh my God, this one is so underrated, and I feel like we always talk about sleep, but make sure you're sleeping 8 hours every single night, and that, you know, you're sleeping around the same time and you're getting up around the same time. Like, that's really what our bodies are meant to do. We're not meant to sleep at 3 a.m., wake up at 12, and one day sleep at 12, wake up at 7 a.m. So try to have some sort of a schedule for your body to sleep. Don't watch TV before you go to bed. Like, again, all of the basics that we've heard before. Not only does this help with your mindset and, you know, aiming to become a more positive person, but this literally affects your period. I know for myself, if I'm on my period, especially on the plane, like when I would travel, I wasn't sleeping that well on the plane. My period would literally like just be terrible. I would just feel so uncomfortable. I feel like my blood flow was more. But ever since I really like doubled down on my sleep, like I'm saying in a month, out of like the 30 days that there are in a month, I probably mess up my sleep schedule once or twice easily. Like nothing more than that. I'm pretty good with my sleep schedule. I don't take naps because I sleep so well at nighttime, and those few times where I do sleep unwell, then I will take a nap during the day just to let my body rest. You sleeping is your body's natural way of detoxifying. That's why when you wake up, you have crusty eyes. Your body is literally shedding away toxins. And when you're not sleeping well, your body's not able to shed those toxins and regenerate. So it's kind of working off of like old oil, if you will. So sleep is so important for your period. I cannot stress that. All right, the last thing that I want to share with you, and you might be picking up on a pattern here when it comes to my videos, is to reduce stress. Scientists have shown and proven that obviously stress releases hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, all of these things. And while in fight or flight moments or actual stressful moments, that might be fine. But when all of these hormones are just constantly being secreted in our body, that can really have a direct impact on your cycle. Reducing chronic stress through meditation, yoga, deep breathing, again, clearing out your social media, maybe checking your inner circle, making sure that no one's stressing you out or you're handling that stress, can really affect your period. And one thing that I've noticed is the less stress that I've allowed myself to be exposed to or create in my life, my period, again, it's a happy time. I don't get stressed about my period, honestly. And if you know that your periods are on the corner and you're stressing out because you know that it's not a good time for you, that you're not going to be in the best mood or whatever, that's just added stress that's going to make your period even worse. So it ends up being the most ironic situation ever. In one study, people who practiced yoga for 35 minutes a day for 5 days a week noticed that their periods were less painful. They had improvements in their cycle regularity, and they saw improvements in their gastrointestinal symptoms, so bloating. Stress is one that I would have to say, if you can pick any two from the ones that I shared today, stress and sleep, obviously more sleep, good quality sleep will help you feel less stressed as well. All right, those are my main tips, but the last one I want to say is definitely consult your doctor if you have more questions. If you're on birth control or if you're taking pills, maybe one of their side effects is your period. So you want to make sure that before you take supplements and before you start adding things into your diet, you want to know what medications you're on and making sure that there's no adverse effects. So definitely hitting up your nutritionist, your gynecologist, your regular MD, or if you have like a holistic doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor, definitely reaching out to them as well. So that is all that I have for you in today's video. I always like to say the earth provides, you know, God made it so that we had everything that we needed in this life to live healthy and be happy. But of course, with how reality is, that's just not the case. When the food industry is out to get us, when we're put on so many different medications, when there's just so many stressors in, you know, the day-to-day life. I hope that this video was encouraging. Even if you're not able to do all of them, just focus on one that you think that you can incorporate into your lifestyle and perfect it, and then add on the rest. I promise you, you will find a direct impact on your period. And just one thing I want to mention, I use organic pads. I don't use the regular always pads. I use pads by Cora, and they are so amazing. Cotton is one of the most dirtiest things that are farmed in agriculture. They don't go through like the best cleaning process. There's just so many pesticides and so many chemicals that are sprayed on these crops, and we sometimes forget about that when we think of organic products and things. We only think about food and drinks, but we forget about cotton. You know, if you're using a cotton swab or a cotton ball or a cotton pad or pads, you know, these are all things that are touching our skin, which is our largest organ. So be very intentional with the products that you're using. I will probably have more videos coming out on this. These are just the basics and how to regulate your period and keep in check of your symptoms that you're having when it comes to your period. That way every month you're not stressing out like, oh, my period's supposed to start in 4 days and it's gonna be the worst, or you have like multiple skipped months. I hope that this video helped you out, and I apologize for this really boring background, but I am working on getting a better space. I love you all so much, and I'm wishing you the best. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I know I kind of rushed through this video because I also understand that I'm not your doctor. I don't know your situation, so I wanted to give more general tips. So I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.